All right, get ready because today we are going deep on something really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Earth's magnetic field. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Somehow it might be connecting all of our brains together.
Whoa.
Yeah, you sent me this YouTube video. It's called The Genius Scientist the CIA Wants to Keep Secret.
Right.
So we are going to break it down and see what's going on.
That's a really interesting one.
Yeah, so let's jump right in.
This video is all about the work of Dr. Michael Persinger.
Okay.
He is a neuroscientist.
Yeah.
And he's made some pretty surprising claims about the power of the Earth's magnetic field, like hidden power,
Yeah.
that we don't really think about.
So basically, it's like this global network of minds.
Yeah, we're going to look at, all the research he's done and kind of what evidence he has for this idea.
So the video starts with Dr. Persinger saying that the Earth's magnetic field is this giant storage system for all of human experience.
Right.
And it's connecting all 7 billion of us.
It's a lot of connection.
Right. He describes it. He's like, imagine 7 billion wires, like our brains, immersed in this magnetic field. And it has the energy to store everyone's experiences who has ever lived.
It's like a hard drive almost for all of humanity.
Right. That's what it made me think of, too.
Yeah.
So is he saying that we're all constantly influencing each other through this field, like all the time?
That's what he's suggesting, yeah.
That is radical.
Yeah, it's a pretty big idea.
But he does have some research, so maybe he's onto something.
Yeah, he does, and he's got some interesting research to back it up.
Before we get too far into that, can we just define what geomagnetic activity is? The video mentions it a lot, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Yeah, absolutely. Geomagnetic activity basically refers to fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field.
Okay.
You can almost think of it like the Earth's heartbeat.
Okay.
Sometimes it's calm and steady, and other times it's more active and intense.
Like when we're stressed or working out or something.
Yeah. And, these changes in the field, Dr. Persinger thinks, can have a direct impact on our brains.
Really? So a more intense heartbeat, would that mean like a stronger connection between us?
That's one way to think about it.
Yeah.
And he says the time it takes for an event in one brain to affect all the other brains on the planet is about 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, mainly during dreams, though.
Dreams, okay.
And there's these Maimon dream studies
Yeah.
where people dreaming in one room could accurately describe, like, images that other people were viewing in another room.
What?
Yeah, and this happened specifically when geomagnetic activity was low, when things were calm.
Hold on, so you're saying calm geomagnetic periods actually might enhance extrasensory perception?
Well, that's one of the implications.
That is wild.
Yeah, and that's where the whole CIA thing comes into play, too.
Right.
The video kind of hints that the CIA's interest in remote viewing
Oh, okay.
might have come from this, like maybe they were trying to tap into this
Up to this connection.
brain-to-brain communication thing.
So they weren't so crazy after all.
Well, who knows?
Okay. Okay, I'm starting to see how this fits together.
Yeah. It gets, like, even more interesting, though. The video then goes into this frequency, 7 hertz.
7 hertz, what is that?
So both the Earth and our brains,
Mhm.
we both generate this frequency naturally.
Wait, so I'm vibrating at 7 hertz right now.
Yeah, you and me both.
What does that even mean?
Think of it like 2 tuning forks,
Okay.
They're both vibrating in harmony.
Okay.
And that shared frequency kind of suggests that there's potential for resonance, like between our brains and the Earth's magnetic field.
So we're all tuned into the same channel, and the Earth is like the broadcasting tower.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that, okay.
But just like a radio signal can get interrupted,
Right.
our connection to this network can be affected by geomagnetic storms, too.
Like from solar flares.
Exactly.
Whoa, so does that mean when those storms hit, our brains might be experiencing disruptions too?
It's possible.
Is that why some people, like, are they more sensitive to those environmental changes? Like they feel disoriented or anxious during those times?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
It could be that our brains are way more sensitive to these little electromagnetic influences than we, even realize.
Okay, I'm already feeling like my, understanding of reality is shifting here.
Just wait, there's more.
No.
The video then describes this experiment where they flashed a light at one person,
Okay.
and it actually, influenced the brain activity of another person in a totally different room.
Another room. Whoa.
Yeah, sitting in darkness, the only connection was a shared magnetic field.
Back up. How can a light flash affect someone in another room?
That's what I thought, too.
That sounds like a movie.
Right. But the video explains that it's all about patterns.
Okay.
Even a weak signal can be detected if it has the right pattern.
Okay.
Like you can hear someone whisper, even if there's lots of noise, if you know what their voice sounds like.
So our brains are picking up these signals all the time without us even knowing.
That's the idea.
That's kind of creepy, but also amazing.
Right. And then it gets even crazier. The video mentions photon emissions from the human brain.
So that means, like, our brains are emitting light.
Exactly. Especially when we focus on something like white light.
Wait, so I might be emitting photons right now?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But how does that connect to this whole brain connection thing?
Well, Dr. Persinger thinks these photons might actually be carrying information,
What?
traveling through the Earth's magnetic field and connecting our brains.
Okay, you're going to have to go slow on this one.
Okay, take a deep breath.
I think I just lost a couple brain cells.
We'll break it down. To understand it, we got to talk about quantum physics,
Oh boy, here we go.
specifically something called quantum entanglement.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready to have your mind blown?
I think so, yeah.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were about to jump into this quantum entanglement thing.
Yeah, I'm still processing the fact that my brain might be, like, glowing,
Right.
but quantum entanglement, that's what Einstein called spooky action, right?
That's the one. Yeah, it's this crazy thing where two particles, even if they're super far apart,
Yeah.
they can be connected so that they instantly affect each other.
Okay.
It's like two coins flipped at the same time, like miles apart,
Yeah.
but they always land on the same side. How does that even happen?
That's a wild image, but I think I get it.
Yeah.
So how does this, like, relate to our brains and all this Dr. Persinger stuff?
Well, Dr. Persinger thinks that this kind of entanglement could be happening in our brains, too.
Really?
Like, our thoughts could be affecting other people's thoughts instantly.
No matter how far apart.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, my head is officially spinning.
No.
So you're saying my thoughts right now could be impacting someone on the other side of the world?
Well, he doesn't say that for sure, but
Okay.
he does say that physicists have already shown that teleportation is possible.
Teleportation.
Well, at least on a really tiny scale.
Okay.
So if we can teleport particles, why not thoughts?
That's a big if.
It is. It is.
But I guess anything is possible in quantum physics.
Right. It's like we're living in the Matrix or something.
Where everything's connected.
Exactly.
We're all part of this bigger network.
Yeah, and the video makes that same kind of comparison.
Really?
It says this interconnectedness could be as big of a deal as figuring out electricity or flying.
Things that people thought were impossible.
Yeah, things that totally changed how we live.
So, like, if we really tapped into this global mind network, what would that even look like? What could we do?
Just imagine a world where communication is instant.
Whoa.
Like, you don't even need words.
No more awkward first dates.
No more misunderstandings.
Sign me up.
But think about it, though. No more privacy either.
Oh, true.
Everyone would know what you're thinking all the time.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword then.
Definitely. It could free us in a lot of ways, but then there are all these questions about privacy, free will.
Right.
What about education?
Yeah.
We could learn things straight from the smartest people on Earth.
No more exams. I'm in.
But if our thoughts aren't really ours, what does that even mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is. It really makes you question what it means to be human.
That's deep.
And Dr. Persinger, he wants us to think about that. Like, what kind of future do we want?
Yeah.
What will we do with this power?
Okay, those are some heavy questions.
They are.
And I don't think I have any answers right now, but
It's a lot to think about.
it is. But before we spiral, what other proof is there in the video?
Good question. Well, Dr. Persinger talks about people who seem to be using this network already,
Oh, really?
even if they don't know it.
Oh,
There's this guy named Shan Herman.
okay.
He says he can read people's memories.
What?
Yeah. And Dr. Persinger's research says there might be a real reason for that.
So you're saying people like him might be getting information from other people's brains through this field.
That's what his research seems to show, yeah.
And what about those photon emissions?
Right. That light our brains give off. He thinks that's how it works.
It's like little messengers.
Yeah, carrying information between us.
Wow, so our thoughts are lighting up the world.
In a way.
That's like poetic.
It is.
But how much of this is like real science? Do other scientists agree with him?
Well, this is definitely cutting edge stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of scientists are skeptical. But even if he's only partly right,
Yeah.
it's still mind-blowing.
It really is, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface here.
Oh, there's definitely more.
Oh, no, really?
But maybe we should take a second to let all this sink in
Okay.
before we go any further.
All right, I've had some time to digest all this stuff about brains being connected, and quantum entanglement.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready to jump back in, though. What else is there?
Okay, so we talked about how this connection could be good, like better communication, learning,
Right.
but it could also be bad, like no more privacy.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
But the video also goes into some things that are really hard to explain. That Dr. Persinger thinks this interconnectedness could be behind.
Like those premonitions we talked about?
Yeah, exactly.
The story about the woman who knew her sister had died.
Right.
Even though they were miles apart.
That always seems so impossible to me.
Yeah, me too.
Dr. Persinger thinks those premonitions, like those times when you just know something's going to happen,
Yeah.
could actually be because our brains are linked through this magnetic field.
Really?
He says that when the geomagnetic activity is low, our brains pick up on these signals from other minds more easily.
So it's like the Earth is quiet and we can hear each other better.
Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible. So do you think that's what was happening with that woman and her sister?
It's definitely possible. Dr. Persinger has done research showing that a lot of these premonitions happen during these quiet periods.
Okay.
So it kind of backs up his idea.
It's like the Earth's magnetic field is a filter, and when it's calm, more stuff gets through.
That's a good way to think about it.
Okay, what about remote viewing then? How does that fit in?
Well, Dr. Persinger thinks remote viewing is another example of this connection.
Oh, okay.
He talks about Ingo Swann.
Right, the guy from the CIA program.
Yeah, the one who could draw those targets that other people were looking at.
Even though he was miles away in a different room.
And he had no idea what they were.
That's wild.
Dr. Persinger thinks Swann was tapping into this network of minds.
Through the magnetic field.
Yeah, not like some kind of superpower.
So maybe the CIA was onto something with all that remote viewing stuff.
Who knows? It makes you wonder what else we could do if we could control this connection.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And that brings us to maybe the most interesting part of all this.
Okay, what is it?
It's called octopus technology.
Octopus. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Tell me more.
So Dr. Persinger made this device
Okay.
that creates a shared magnetic field for two people in different rooms.
Oh, wow.
And when they're in this field, they get much better at remote viewing tasks.
Really? Like their brains are syncing up.
Exactly.
That's amazing, but kind of scary too, right?
Yeah, if we can make this connection stronger, where does it end?
Right, like what if everyone's thoughts were public?
That's exactly the question Dr. Persinger asks.
No more secrets that would change everything.
It's both exciting and terrifying, isn't it?
It really is.
This whole idea, it really makes you think differently about the brain, about consciousness.
Yeah, it's not just facts. It's like a whole new way of seeing things.
Exactly. And that's what I love about this deep dive.
Me too. It makes you realize how much we don't know.
As we wrap up here, it's good to remember that this is just the start of exploring all this.
Okay.
Dr. Persinger's work, some people disagree with it, and there's a lot more to learn. But even so, it opens up so many possibilities and asks questions we can't ignore.
Like, if our brains are all linked like this, what does that mean for us? How should we treat each other? What kind of future do we want with this knowledge?
Big questions.
Huge questions.
And even if we don't totally get the science yet, there's something beautiful about the idea that we're all connected.
Yeah, that our thoughts are all part of something bigger.
It really is amazing.
It is. Thanks for taking this deep dive with me, and thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
I think we'll be thinking about this for a long time.